The HOA thought bolting my gates shut would stop my animals from roaming, but they underestimated my goats. Once they got loose, they didn't just wander, they transformed the HOA lawns into their own personal battlefield, and now the entire neighborhood is paying the price. It all started with a dispute over my property lines. My ranch had been here for years, well within my rights to house livestock. But when the HOA got involved, they decided my goats were an eyesore. The fines started rolling in, claiming my animals were too loud, too visible, and not in keeping with neighborhood standards. I had been through this before. I knew how these HOA boards worked, power-hungry and willing to push the boundaries of what they could control. But when they decided to bolt my ranch gates shut, claiming it was a safety hazard, I had had enough. They thought locking me in would stop my goats from wandering. They were wrong. That afternoon, I saw what they didn't. The goats were more than eager to escape. It didn't take long for them to find a way through the bolt, and once they did, they went on a rampage. The grass on HOA lawns became their battleground. They chewed through shrubbery, tore up flower beds, and, with the precision of a military unit, they zeroed in on the vegetable gardens. But it didn't stop there. My goats didn't just graze. They had a knack for destruction. They knocked over garden gnomes, chewed up decorative statues, and even broke through the neighborhood's prized flower beds. Nothing was safe from their chaos. The HOA tried to wrangle them back, but they were out of control, leaping over fences and charging through hedges like a herd of tiny destructive tanks. As word spread, the HOA board members began to panic. They sent out letters threatening legal action. But by then, the damage was done. The neighbors, who once sided with the HOA, began to realize how ridiculous it was to lock a ranch owner out of their own property. The HOA's credibility took a hit. People started questioning their authority. Finally, after a week of goat-induced mayhem, the HOA had no choice but to remove the bolts, lift the restrictions, and apologize. The goats were safely back in there. Penn and the HOA learned a valuable lesson. Never underestimate the chaos a few angry goats can cause when they're set loose on a mission. For more stories of epic HOA showdowns and wild justice, subscribe to the HOA Stories Now.